Hey guys, it's me, Owen. I wanted to come on and talk real quick about the Bray Wyatt documentary that dropped on Peacock today. Um, I went over to my dad's and I watched it with him. And I just want to say first and foremost, holy fuck, it still doesn't necessarily feel real that he's gone. Um, then it still sucks that Bray is gone. He should still be here. Um, it. I'll always remember coming home from work and finding out he'd been released and coming home from work to find out a little later on that he was dead. And the latter being a day out, less than 24 hours after we lost Terry Funk. It's fucking heartbreaking, man. It really is. I cried a bit during the documentary, mostly towards the back end when it got to the more recent stuff that I was watching once I first got into wrestling as a fan. And um, I just want to say, thank you WWE for and to everybody involved for putting this together. Um, it's really awesome to see how much of an impact Bray had on people, fans, wrestlers, everyone essentially. Um, it's especially tough, hearing his brother Bo Dallas or Taylor Rotunda, talk about, he just wanted to be, he wanted to be just like Bray. He wanted to get to WrestleMania with him someday and be like him. And it's like, damn, it's like we all want that one way or the other. We all look up to somebody. We all want to be somebody or be like somebody. And, um, and it's just, it's rough, I mean, he's only 36. That's the shitty part. He's only 36, and as I said, he got COVID. It exacerbated a heart issue that he already had. His family talked about what he went through as far as dealing with that and talked about how he was getting better, but there were setbacks sometimes. But he was getting better. He had gotten cleared eventually, and it's and as is what's been reported on, he was working towards coming back to WWE TV, and then the next thing you know, he's gone. You know, but the biggest thing with all that is just like the fact that Bray, no matter what it was that was going on, he tried to make everyone understand that everything was going to be okay and that he was going to be fine, even if he knew that he wasn't okay. That's the sort of reassurance that we all need in life, that no matter how bad things are going to get, that we're all going to be okay somehow, some way. And I can't fucking recommend this thing enough. You gotta watch it. It's just, it was, if you got 2 hours to spare, freaking go watch it. You should. You really should. Um, and yeah. It's really awesome seeing, you know, for Jason Baker, one of the guys that works so closely with Bray, to show off what Bray had created as the new Fiend, an even scarier version of the Fiend than the original. Um, it would have been nice to have seen how we would have gotten it, what would have led up to it, because if you remember, it was you go up to the Royal Rumble against LA Knight, the lead up to that, and Bray, eventually Bray and Howdy, joining forces, knowing that Howdy is Bo Dallas, of course, and then you also have all the stuff between Howdy and Alexa and where that was going to eventually lead. And it's just a shame that we never got it. But I think that you know it, and it's already been reported on that the little thing at the end. Um, I won't. Oh, I might as well already say it. Uh, the deliberate tease at the end. Um, I think that whatever happens, whatever they choose to do, Bo and Alexa, and because I would assume Alexa will be involved in some capacity. Whatever they choose to do with these characters, it obviously won't be the same, and I hope fans understand that it's never going to be the same without Bray, but they're going to do everything they can to pay respect to Bray in what they do. And I think that's what matters. And I have all the hope in the world that the current regime, the Triple H led regime will do everything in its power to honor Bray in the best way when it comes to these characters and what they do with them. So, yeah, again, like I said, if you got 2 hours to spare, if you got Peacock, go watch the documentary. If you don't have Peacock and you want to watch, go get it and watch. It's just, it's an emotional thrill ride, man. It really is. Just hearing Bray and his family and his friends just talk about, you know, his wrestling career in itself was a roller coaster. Because like you get these highs of when you introduce something, and then starts going along, and then eventually you sort of come down from that high, and that's how wrestling goes. Especially when it comes to creative and again, Bray had a specific way of how he wanted to do things, and sometimes that was a little hard to work with because in reality, Bray was bigger than wrestling. His characters were bigger than wrestling. His mind was bigger than wrestling. What he wanted to do was bigger than wrestling. And sometimes you can't always control that or simplify that. Um, Bray always had something, he always had a handful of things to take inspiration from. And and then he kept, revitalizing himself, reforming himself, reinventing himself. And it would just create a new high and a new peak to reach before eventually coming down from that peak and then moving on to the next thing. Um, and it just goes to show how incredible a mind he is. So, again, if you got 2 hours, go watch the documentary. Um, I promise you will get emotional. You'll probably cry, but that's okay. And yeah, so I'll catch you next time. Peace.